All right, Saagar, what are you looking at?
Well, last week I did a monologue delving into the price of used cars and what's driving the price up. The usual suspects all appeared: demand, quality of cars, but really it pointed the finger at the financialization of car companies and of car dealers themselves. I've always been obsessed recently with car dealers, their business models now for a few years, and it all traces to a little notice study that I came across actually, which opened my eyes as to who the so-called blue-collar rich in America are. Everyone knows people in finance and Silicon Valley as rich. But what the other rich people who don't work in those sectors, who are they? A 2019 study of the 0.1% earners in America, defined as those who make more than $1.58 million cash per year on paper, revealed that the most common occupation among them was one: car dealer. In fact, one estimate finds 20% of all car dealers in America have an owner making more than $1.5 million. Now, how is that possible? Well, a new dispatch actually from the National Association of Car Dealers meeting, it tells us a lot about it. Car dealers spend tens of millions of dollars per year to lobby federal, state, and local officials. They do a few things that are very important to them. Number one, they regulate land so that nobody else can start a rival dealership. Two, they regulate licensing to prevent the same thing. But now, an urgent and important initiative that they care about most of all: preventing direct sales of vehicles to consumers by manufacturers. The latest threat arose with the prominence of Tesla, which got rid of the dealer model for its cars, and it allows consumers to buy directly from the company. Naturally, they took issue with that. Car dealers have now spent millions of dollars successfully passing laws in states banning consumers from buying cars directly from manufacturers. They do this only because not only does it mean their survival, but actually puts a moat around their ability to extract as much profit as they can from their existing sales. Now, recall a study I showed you before by the Labor Department. It finds that between 2019 and 2022, dealers used their regulated monopoly status to dramatically drive up the price of used cars. The Labor Department actually found dealer markup alone accounts for anywhere between 35 to 62% of all inflation in vehicle pricing across the United States. Now, as I've said, that's great work if you can get it. By all accounts, all the auto dealers in the country actually made more money in the last 3 years than ever before, meaning that if they were making 1.5 million a year on average in 2019, it might even be double that today. All of this on display at the latest meeting of this National Association of Dealers, where they were remarkably candid about how well that they did over the last 3 years and about worries that what them the most in the future. The answer is simple: electric vehicles. As I mentioned before, Tesla's direct-to-consumer model actually woke a lot of people up, not just in the EV world, but for companies like Rivian, which has been floated. It's also been floated by company CEOs like Ford and others who secretly would love to ditch the dealers. But the dealers are not idiots, and they know this. They have dropped the hammer and money on every politician in America. In fact, as Slate found, in Florida, there are currently 2 dealer-sponsored bills making their way through to the Ron DeSantis desk, which by all accounts he will likely sign. It will make it illegal for car manufacturers to set transparent prices for their cars, and it would allow buyers to order EVs from legacy manufacturers online. It would disallow that. But even with that moat, EVs still represent a real threat to dealer profits. The vast majority of dealer profits don't come from the sale of cars. They actually make it from financing and from servicing. EVs, no matter who makes them, have far less component parts. They don't need oil changes. They don't need as much servicing. In fact, EVs generate some 40% less aftermarket revenue for dealers. On top of that, as Slate explains, can't just repurpose a regular old mechanic to work on an EV when they come in. It actually costs a lot for specialized training, so they make less money and they have to pay for specialized labor. Not a genius then to see why they all hate it so much. It's reflected in the numbers. Right now, 2/3 of US car dealers in America don't have any EVs to sell. 45% of dealers say straight up, we will never sell them, no matter what happens. Over and over again, you see massive resistance within the dealer community to EVs. What research I did for this monologue taught me is that the current Biden plan for EVs has a deep flaw. It only focuses on manufacturers and on consumers, but it forgot dealers basically run this country. Like it or not, we've got to get some programs in place to incentivize uptake amongst dealers for EVs, or they will just rig the market and the local laws to prevent them from being sold. What this represents is the reality of dealing in the car business in America. It also demonstrates another hole in the EV uptake strategy. Remember that according to the state of California, all new cars, trucks sold in the state in a little over a decade must be electric. How is that going to work? Alongside the Biden administration's pledge that half of all new cars sold in the U.S. must be electric in 2030. That is 7 years away, and we're only at 10%. The infrastructure to support these cars for long-haul driving is nowhere even close, even unless you own a Tesla. We have major work to do if you want to make this a reality. And increasingly, it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. You can either have an electric future or you can have a colossal boondoggle. And right now, the latter just looks more likely than ever. I'm curious what you think, Crystal. I mean, these.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now. And Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us. And if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.